All right, Shalom. First off, we're going to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh,
Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakodash. Yahweh being the Heavenly Father's true name, Yahweh Shai being the name of His only begotten Son. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles, the great millstone who rule well and teach well. Double peace, blessings, and salutations to all you walking through the four corners of the earth, continuing to push and do the works in truth and in sincerity. All right, we just a couple brothers from the GMS Des Moines camp. This is Brother Mashah Mayum.
Brother Zakaria.
And, we just here today to get a quick lesson in, basically dealing with prayer, and just keeping it simple. Just grabbing a few precepts and expanding on the precepts. But basically prayer is another good thing that we have been commanded to continue to do. Okay, something that we need to continue to do. All right. If you can hit that 1 Thessalonians 5:17, Baba Kusha.
So 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 17, it says, pray without ceasing.
God, that's plain and simple, okay? And that's a letter that was written by Paul, but it's plain and simple, okay? Pray without ceasing. If you could read the NLT Baba Kusha real quick.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5. This 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 15 in the NLT. It says, see that no one pays back evil for evil, but always try to do good to each other and to all people.
5 and
17?
Yeah.
I'm tweaking. Salaki, that's me. It says, never stop praying. I had read verse 15.
You good? Hey, plain and simple, okay? Never stop praying. All right, so there's no reason we should never stop praying. We got to continue to pray about everything, okay? Each and every single thing, that whatever it is that you're dealing with, okay, hey, pray about it. All right, and that's plain and simple. If you, because as it says, if you could hit 1 Timothy 2 and 8, Baba Kusha.
And so 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 8. Let me put it in the KJV. 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 8, it says, I will therefore that men pray everywhere, lifting up holy hands without wrath and doubting.
So like you're not 1 Timothy, I think it's Philippians 4 and 6. So like
Philippians 4 and 6. It's Philippians chapter 4 and verse 6. It says, be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto the Most High.
So it said be careful for nothing, okay? So don't overthink, don't stress, don't worry about anything, but what? Through prayer and supplication, let your requests be made known unto the Most High, okay? Ask the Lord to help you out with any and everything that you're dealing with, right? Whatever struggles, whatever mental issues, whatever it is that is in front of you, okay? And also understanding too, some things you might have to go through, okay? And real quick, like that quote that was by Bruce Lee, right? He said, don't pray for an easy life, but pray for the strength to endure a hard one, right? And that's another, aspect we can have. You can also pray, hey, simply give me the strength to get through whatever it is I'm going through. Okay?
Yeah, whatever you pray for, you gotta you ask of it, but it's all of the Lord's will to put that in play. It's of His purpose. It's of Yahweh Shai's will if that prayer is gonna be answered.
I got you. I'm gonna hit that 1 Timothy 2 and 8.
That's what I just read. You just want to read that one.
Yeah, you can go ahead and read it.
You still wanted that?
Yeah, I was gonna grab this one first.
Go ahead. You got it.
This is 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 8, and it reads, I will therefore that men pray everywhere, lifting up holy hands without wrath and doubting. Okay, that's another thing too. All right, when you pray, you can't doubt. All right. Because real quick, like the precept says, if you can grab a double-minded man, believing, you gotta believe it, okay? Because that's another thing too. If you pray, you gotta pray in faith. You can't just pray and then in the back of your mind you feel like, your prayer was null and void, right? You feel like your prayer, didn't reach the Lord. Hey, we can't feel that way, okay? We serve the true and living power, and He hears His servants. Okay. Do you find that precept?
Yeah. Well, this James chapter 1 and verse 5, it says, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of the Most High, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraid it not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
That's right, okay? And it's speaking about wisdom and asking for things that you need help with, okay? And we can apply it in, for everything, okay? You can't be double-minded, okay? You can't be wavering when you ask the Lord for different things. You got to believe and have firm faith and belief that what you pray for is going to come to pass.
Having that confidence that the Lord gonna come through. And once again, like I mentioned, it's all of the Lord's will if that prayer come into play.
That's right.
You know, but still ask and beg. That's the point of praying without ceasing. You know, keeping that making our requests known unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, keeping that open communication, you know, with the Lord in our everyday life, and the things that we need and the things that allow us to persevere, you know, in this truth.
Right. You know, and you know, just a quick point to add on, they were speaking about wisdom. But yeah, you know, and I just wanted to add on to that point, you know, or just a point to add on, because it was talking about wisdom, and that's another thing too. Okay, that what you pray for also has to be according to the Lord's will. All right, you can't just pray for whatever it is that you want, and anything that's out of the Lord's will and think that it's going to come to pass. All right, it has to be according to the Lord's will. All right, just to add on to, you know, the point that the brother made, is it's all in his will if he wants it to come to pass, you know. But I'm gonna hit first. Let's get if you could get Proverbs 15 and 29, Baba Kwasha.
It's Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 29. It says, Yahweh is far from the wicked, but he heareth the prayer of the righteous.
That's right. Okay, and this is another, you know, precept, you know, to increase our faith and confidence, okay, when praying. As long as you're doing what's right, as long as you're serving the Lord in truth and in sincerity, okay, we're the ones that the Lord is listening to. We're the ones that the Lord is hearing, okay? They said he's far from the wicked, so he's not hearing these people in the world, but who's he hearing? He's hearing the ones that are serving him, okay? So that's another thing, too, you got to understand, you know, when you pray unto the Lord, you know?
Yeah, that you move in the right spirit when you praying to the Lord, because you got people praying
right
to a deity that don't exist, you know? But with us, we praying to the true power of the heaven and earth. So we should be operating and moving in the ways that please him so that he can hear our prayers.
That's right.
This Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 6, it says, but without faith it is impossible to please him. So without faith it's impossible to please Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. It says, for he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So that the Lord is going to reward you. If you believe in what you're praying for, the Lord is going to reward. As long as it's according to the Lord's plan, the Lord going to give it. But that doesn't mean don't pray. That doesn't mean stop praying. That doesn't mean stop begging Yahweh Hashem Yahushua for those things that's beneficial for you to grow and to mature and to develop, you know, in His truth.
That's right.
You know, things that's needful for you to be better in. Things that you lacking in or weak in, or, you know, pray for those things that you get strong in those areas. You know, in the areas that you're strong in, ask the Lord to keep strengthening you in those strong areas.
Okay. This is I'm gonna get Mark chapter 9 and verse 29. This is Mark chapter 9 and verse 29, and this is the Lord's words. And he said unto them, this kind can come forth by nothing but by prayer and fasting. Okay, I just wanted to use this precept to show you that the Lord commanded us, okay, this is a way also to overcome certain things. You have to pray, all right, along with, you know, of course, as it says, fasting, right?
Right, because certain demons are stronger than others. You know, you may have to fast, you know, to get that demon up off you. You know, it may take a day or two.
Right.
You know, and as you fast, you praying as well.
That's right.
Prayer and fasting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's very key. These are the tools that the Lord gave us so that we can overcome, you know, these battles that we go through while we're here on this earth.
Do you have anything else?
Mm-hmm. Okay. This let me see. This Romans chapter 12, verse 12, it says, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer. Continuing instant in prayer, always praying. Like we read, pray without ceasing. Never stop praying. We can't stop praying to Yahweh Shema Shah, because these people not praying. You got people so-called praying, like I mentioned, but they praying to someone that don't exist. They praying to something that don't exist. And then the majority of the people not praying. They're not talking to the Lord. So how much more us? And to know Yahweh Shema Shah, and that He's our strength, our refuge, our protection, our aid, our help. Cry unto to Yahweh Shema Shah. Matter of fact, let me grab this as well. Let me grab this real quick. This Psalm 140, Psalms 145 in verse 18. It says Yahweh is nigh unto all them that call upon him, to all that call upon him in truth. So the Lord is nigh to those that's calling upon him, that is of a contrite spirit, that trembleth at his word. Those are the prayers that the Lord hear. So if you call upon the Lord in truth, the Lord gonna hear. It said he will fulfill the desire of them that fear him. He also will hear their cry and will save them. So you gotta fear the Lord. But you gotta call upon him. And that calling is a sense of prayer.
Yep.
It says, verse 20, Yahweh preserveth all them that love him, but all the wicked will he destroy. You know, we don't want to fall in that category of the wicked. You know, so we got to fear the Lord, call upon him, and do those things that the Lord say do to the best of our ability. And the Lord is going to come to our aid.
Yeah, man, you know, prayer, you know, it's a powerful weapon, you know. And, you know, once again, like the brother is bringing out, you got to be in the right spirit, okay? You got to be moving in the fear of the Lord, okay? You know, for the Lord to hear you. But that's all I had. If you had anything else,
I'm just gonna hit this precept, the one I quoted. It's Psalm chapter 51 and verse 17. It says, the sacrifices of the Most High are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart, which is the mind. It said, "O Yahweh, thou wilt not despise." The Lord is not going to despise someone that's of a contrite and of a broken spirit, knowing that we deserve worse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, coming humbly to the throne of the Lord and asking and begging in fear that the Lord grant those things that we pray for.
You
know, so constant prayer, always praying to Yahweh Shema Shai and the things that we need that would further our endurance in the faith.
Right. If I could hit this real quick, since you mentioned that just brought this to mind. So lock you to this man. This is Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 2. And it reads, "For all those things hath mine hand made, and all those things have been, saith the Lord. But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor and of a contrite spirit, and trembleth at my word." All right. Just backing the brother up. You know, this is who the Lord is going to look to, okay? When you go into that word look, okay, it's the Hebrew word nabat, which means to regard with care. Okay, so plain and simple, you know, you have to be in a humble, okay, in a contrite spirit, all right? Moving in the fear of the Lord, you know, because that's who the Lord is going to look to and care for, you know.
Let's see. This is Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 29. It says, Yahweh is far from the wicked, but he heareth the prayer of the righteous, the just, those that's living upright. Those are the ones that the Lord hears. He hears their prayer, but he's far from the wicked. The Lord ain't listening to no wicked individual. And we got to make sure that we're not moving wickedly in our doings, in our actions.
God. That's the spirit you brought that out, because I already read it, but spirit wanted to brought out twice, But you had anything else? God. But hey, so with that, Lord's willing, we hope this was edifying, and we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach Double honors unto the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all you walking with the four corners of the earth, continuing to push and do the works in truth and in sincerity. With that, we going to say Shalom.